do not take over 40 milligrams of zinc daily unless it's under a doctor's supervision. Prolonged high doses of zinc can actually deplete another critical mineral called, hi friends, here are the top 10 ways to increase collagen. Now let's rapid fire through this list in less than a minute. Vitamin C, vitamin B12, zinc, beta-carotene, sulforaphane, chlorophylls, phytoestrogens, protein, green tea, and collagen. So how can you best take these nutrients? Nothing that I listed is a food except for green tea, but everything else that I listed can be found in your food or taken as a dietary supplement. It's always best to get your nutrients in food form because when you eat whole food, there are lots of other nutrients that help to balance each other. Loss of balance can result in poor outcomes. But supplements are an important tool for our health, and they can make a world of difference when taken appropriately. Otherwise, the USDA wouldn't be fortifying your grains with vitamins and minerals. Essentially, every time you eat a processed grain, you are getting supplemental vitamins and minerals that have been added to avoid nutritional deficiencies. Unfortunately, this has resulted in a whole bunch of people overnourished with micronutrient deficiencies. Now, I personally don't eat processed foods anymore, and therefore I have to be super cognizant in making sure that my foods have the right micronutrient profile. And if I don't eat it, then I'll have to make it up by taking appropriate supplements. So let's take a deeper dive into each of these nutrients to see how they each independently help with collagen synthesis. Number one, you can take supplements like vitamin C or eat foods rich in vitamin C. Now, you have to do one or the other to sustain your life, or you simply won't survive. Vitamin C is an essential wound healing vitamin, and one way it promotes wound healing is by increasing collagen synthesis. At the end of my mom's life during 2020, she became bedbound, and in less than a week, she developed an ulcer in her sacrum that eventually became a bone infection called osteomyelitis. This infection was giving her fevers. Now, osteomyelitis is not an easy diagnosis, and several of her physicians, including her own personal infectious disease physician, missed the diagnosis, despite the fact that I kept telling them she had osteomyelitis. Now, you will notice that physicians, we don't always agree with one another in our approach to healthcare. And this is actually healthy. It's a way for physicians to have checks and balances on each other. But as a seasoned infectious disease specialist, which much more experienced than those doctors, my bread and butter is treating complex infections like the one that my mother had, and I knew that I was right and they were wrong. I was also my mother's daughter and her physician advocate. So eventually, I found an experienced surgeon who agreed with my diagnosis, and he advocated with his team to deliver appropriate care that resulted in resolution of her fevers and her healing of her wound. Now, that's a thing with healthcare. Even physicians struggle to get appropriate healthcare for ourselves and our families. And the take-home message is everybody should have their own healthcare advocate. My mom's condition is not uncommon. Within 2 hours of laying still, you will begin to have tissue injury over bony prominences, and this occurs even faster in people who are skinny and malnourished. Basically, when you put pressure on the tissue between your tailbone and your bed or chair, you are forming a tourniquet, which kills off the tissue distal to the blood vessels. The skinnier you are, the quicker this can happen. So literally, my mom's sacral skin was stuck between a rock and a hard place, her sacral bone and her bed. At that time, she was probably around 80 pounds. And when you choke off blood flow, you're cutting off the oxygen supply to tissue. And as a result, the tissue starts to die off, and initially you will see discoloration on the surface, and it'll be red or a shade of purple on the outside. But underneath, some tissue has already begun to die. Eventually, an open wound will form, and if it gets infected, the bone can be compromised. This wound is called a pressure sore, and 44% of all pressure sores start at the tailbone or sacrum. It is not uncommon to develop these pressure sores when you become bedbound. In the hospital, that risk can be as high as 42% in the intensive care unit. So if you are a caregiver or know someone who is bedbound in the hospital, nursing home, or even at home, make sure that person is being rotated every 2 hours. Now, my mom, because of her dementia, refused to move, and her caregiver couldn't make her do it. She obviously had the wrong caregiver. The sacrum is a dirty area because that is close to the anus where stool comes out. So any compromise in the tissue around that area will make a person susceptible to getting that area infected. As a part of my mom's treatment, the area was surgically cleaned. We also got her a Power Air Fluidized Mattress to remove pressure, and I made sure she had adequate nutrition for collagen repair, including supplemental vitamin C. Now, everyone doubted her wound would heal because she was so tiny and malnourished, but they underestimated the power of proper nutrition and environment. Now, how much vitamin C do you need? Well, the WHO, or the World Health Organization, and the United States RDA says the target minimum should be 75 milligrams for women and 90 milligrams for men. However, if you're a smoker, you will need at least 35 to 40 milligrams more in a day due to all the oxidative toxins you are inhaling that depletes your vitamin C. And I would add, secondhand smoke is just as bad. Now let's address this pollution factor later. The European Union recommends 80 milligrams a day for women and 90 milligrams a day for men, but acknowledges that doses up to 1,000 milligrams a day are well tolerated. So why such a big difference? Well, the amount of vitamin C you need to prevent scurvy is very different from the amount of vitamin C you need to prevent chronic diseases such as cardiovascular disease, cancers, and cataracts. And that is different from the amount of vitamin C you need to help with mental health issues, or to counteract pollution, or to slow down wrinkles. Nutrients are your health savings account. It's kind of like your bank account. If you only have $1,000 and you need to buy food, pay gas, rent, utilities, tuition, books, maybe a pair of shoes, you either have to move out of the state or you will need to prioritize what is the most important thing for you to do and delay buying those new shoes. Your body works the same way. Interested in losing weight and burning fat? L-Carnitine is a supplement many bodybuilders use to enhance performance because it is critical for fat burning. But your body actually can make L-Carnitine if you have enough vitamin C. If you are struggling with mood and mental fatigue, you should know that the first symptoms of scurvy is tiredness and the lack of drive, because vitamin C is critical to make essential brain chemicals such as dopamine and catecholamines such as norepinephrine and epinephrine. Vitamin C is also essential to make the love hormone oxytocin for bonding. Did I mention it serves as a strong antioxidant that protects the rest of the body's lipids, proteins, and DNA from pollutants in your food, water, and air by scavenging free radicals and other reactive oxygen and nitrogen species such as superoxide hydroxyl radicals and hypochlorous acid found in your skincare products and made by your immune cells. So do you really want just the minimum amount of vitamin C? It's like your GPA. Do you want to pass or be outstanding? And this is the difference between surviving and thriving. We know the requirements of vitamin C changes with your oxidative stress. Besides smoking, can you think of another scenario when you may need more vitamin C? This is an incomplete list of various scenarios in which the body has more oxidative stress requiring more vitamin C. So if you live in a perfect world without any of these factors in your life, congratulations to you. I don't know anyone else who has ever done it. People who struggle with this list will require more than the minimum amount of daily recommended vitamin C. And this is why I personally choose to supplement with vitamin C daily, even though I eat lots of fresh fruits and vegetables rich in vitamin C. Many people only think about taking vitamin C supplements when they get sick because they have heard that vitamin C also helps to fight infections. It does this by getting your soldiers called neutrophils to go to the site of infection and has been shown to help reduce the duration of upper respiratory tract infections including those caused by common colds. But when your immune system is occupied with fighting a cold, it won't allocate energy for skin repair, as skin repair is a low priority for your health. And this is why illnesses age skin. The repair of collagen takes a back seat during stress. To stay youthful and vibrant, it takes work to minimize stress, not get infections, and to get enough dietary vitamin C for daily maintenance of health. In the old days, people just didn't know the science. The 16th to 18th century European sailors all learned the hard way that a diet of meat, dairy, and bread will literally lead to an early death from vitamin C deficiency or scurvy. That sounds a lot like the standard American diet. Unfortunately, those 2 million sailors, they didn't have a simple bottle of vitamin C supplements that they could take with them on their voyage. They didn't know about vitamin C, which is an essential daily dietary vitamin that the human body cannot make or store. And what happens when you have excess? Your body will naturally absorb less and it will urinate what it doesn't use. So if you're having diarrhea, you may be overdoing your vitamin C supplements. Now, every time I plan a trip away, I always pack specific micronutrients because traveling is stressful and my traveling diet is always less healthy. This April, I had the privilege of chaperoning a school field trip to Washington, D.C. for a week. Unfortunately, my hydration, vitamins, minerals, and fiber was suboptimal. And so I got constipated. My nails got softer. My hands got drier. My lips got chapped. And I got more fine wrinkles and baggy eyes. Whenever I travel, I never get enough fresh fruits and vegetables unless I bring my own or find a farmer's market or a supermarket. Restaurants also never serve enough fruit. Lemon water, it just won't do it as lemons don't have much vitamin C. That sour taste is from citric acid, whereas vitamin C is ascorbic acid. Now guess which fruit has the highest vitamin C? If you think it's the orange, that's because the first documented randomized controlled trial on record was done by an English Navy doctor who nursed sailors with scurvy back to health with oranges. But oranges don't have as much vitamin C as a kiwi. And what has even more vitamin C is the red bell pepper, which is equivalent to 3 medium oranges. Now, number 2 is vitamin B12 or cobalamin. Vitamin B12 is not present in all foods, so vegans are at high risk of becoming vitamin B12 deficient, which is required for a healthy nervous system, red blood cells, and DNA synthesis of all cells. Plants and animals don't make any vitamin B12. Bacteria make vitamin B12, and animal products are a rich source of vitamin B12 because animals and humans can actually store vitamin B12 for a few years. Like vitamin C, vitamin B12 functions as a cofactor for 2 enzymes, methionine synthase and L-methylmalonyl-CoA mutase. L-methylmalonyl-CoA allows your body to make short-chain fatty acids like propionate, thought to be helpful in lowering cholesterol, inflammation, and cancers. Have you heard of homocysteine? Homocysteine is an amino acid that is naturally found in your blood, and certain B vitamins, basically the trio, vitamin B12, vitamin B6, and vitamin B9, it helps methionine synthase keep homocysteine low. Methionine synthase converts homocysteine into other amino acids like thionine and cysteine that serve as antioxidants. Methionine then forms S-adenosine methionine, a universal methyl donor for almost 100 different substrates, including for DNA, RNA, proteins, and lipids. Cysteine helps with the glutathione redox system to help your cells reduce oxidative stress from toxins. So if you have excess homocysteine, then you aren't making enough methionine and cysteine. Elevated homocysteine or hypohomocysteinemia can be a sign of B vitamin deficiency, and it puts you at risk of having strokes, heart attacks, and other diseases of atherosclerosis. You will also be at risk for blood clots, dementia, and osteoporosis. And this is why, if you're on a plant-based diet, you need to supplement with vitamin B12, and not doing so can be harmful and even fatal, like vitamin C deficiency. But in reality, people on omnivorous diets are also at risk of low vitamin B12 levels. In the United States, up to 15% of people currently have vitamin B12 deficiency, and less than 10% of Americans consider themselves vegans or vegetarians. This means 50 million Americans currently have B12 deficiency, mostly due to the lack of vitamin B12 in their diets or the lack of absorption of vitamin B12. Here is a list of risk factors. Keep in mind, if you are on metformin for diabetes or gastric acid inhibitors, you are also at risk of absorbing less vitamin B12. If you feel tired or have a loss of appetite, losing weight, have sores in your mouth or tongue, or have yellowish skin, you also may have vitamin B12 deficiency. Diagnosis will require a blood draw, like a complete blood count, to look at your red blood cells, your hemoglobin and hematocrit, as well as vitamin B12 levels, but MMA or methylmalonic acid levels are actually better. And you can have a normal vitamin B12 level and have a low MMA level. But an even better test is holotranscobalamin levels, which is more sensitive and specific. A holotranscobalamin level above 30 is the goal. And if you are low, you should get that test repeated after you have supplemented. Now, anyone over 50, vegan, or have gut absorption issues should have a vitamin B12 test. And when you supplement, you will find that there are two main types of over-the-counter vitamin B12 on the market. Methylcobalamin, marketed as methyl B12, and cyanocobalamin, which is marketed as just vitamin B12. Methylcobalamin is susceptible to photodecomposition, so it's important to keep it out of the light. Otherwise, you would be taking an ineffective supplement. Now, I prefer methylcobalamin because it is a better choice for those with impaired kidney function due to the cyano part of cyanocobalamin breaking down into cyanide that can build up when your kidney function is impaired. Now, the thing is, 1 out of 7 adults have chronic kidney disease, and 9 out of 10 of those people don't even know they have it. The recommended daily intake of vitamin B12 is tiny, 2.4 micrograms daily, and any excess is simply urinated out. Now, number 3 is zinc, which is critical for collagen synthesis and cell repair and remodeling in the skin. 2 billion people across the globe have zinc deficiency. Almost 20% of the global population just simply don't get adequate amounts of zinc in their diet. Having low zinc puts people at risk of getting ulcers such as pressure sores and sarcopenia or muscle loss. Zinc is another vital cofactor that supports enzymes to help you make proteins, lipids, and nucleic acid. Without zinc, your immune system is shot, especially your innate immune system, which is composed of neutrophils and natural killer cells. You will literally be more susceptible to getting infectious diseases like pneumonias and diarrheas. Your liver, bowel, and kidneys will all struggle, and you will be unable to taste and smell properly without zinc, which further exacerbates nutritional deficiencies. You will definitely struggle with wound healing because collagen synthesis, inflammation, and cell division all rely on an adequate amount of zinc. No country is immune to zinc deficiency problems, including the United States and Japan. Did you know that people who drink from tap water and well water actually have a higher incidence of zinc deficiency? Do you know why that's so? It's because these waters are contaminated with parasites like Entamoeba histolytica and Ascarias lumbricoides. This is why it's really important to boil your water before you use it to drink, wash your hands, or to wash your produce that you're going to eat raw if you are living or visiting a developing country. I never eat ice, drink water, brush my teeth, or wash my face with tap water, or eat raw vegetables or fruit that I can't peel or wash myself when I'm out of the country. The absorption of zinc is actually dependent upon your overall nutritional status. So if you're eating a high starch diet and not getting enough protein in your diet, which usually means access to animals or nuts, seeds, legumes, and beans, then you may have low albumin, which is required to help you transport zinc. Now, if you are eating enough calories, but not removing the phytates in your greens and beans by pre-soaking and throwing away that rinse water and thoroughly cooking your beans until soft, then the phytates actually may inhibit the absorption of zinc in your food. I eat a lot of beans and legumes with other plants that are rich in phytates, and I try to follow these rules of nutrition most of the time to maximize my zinc absorption, but in the end, I'm not so confident that I'm getting enough zinc. So I literally have no way to measure that practically. And I know that 2 billion people across the earth are zinc deficient. Zinc is so important that I personally don't take any chances with my health. So I take a low dose of zinc daily to make sure that I don't get zinc deficiency. There are different types of zinc supplements. Zinc oxide is about 50% absorbed, whereas zinc gluconate is about 61% absorbed. If you also take a supplemental iron, which I wouldn't recommend unless that's supervised by a medical professional, the iron can reduce your zinc absorption too. Now, if you want to know what supplements I take, I have a link in the show notes below. Now, if you plan to take a supplement, do not take over 40 milligrams of zinc daily unless it's under a doctor's supervision. Prolonged high doses of zinc can actually deplete another critical mineral called copper. Number 4 is beta-carotene, which has been shown to improve facial wrinkles and protect the skin from UV light and pollution. They sell beta-carotene supplements, but I actually don't like taking beta-carotene supplements as it has been linked to possibly increasing the risk of cancers in certain populations, including smokers. Now, I prefer to get my beta-carotene from orange and red colored fruits and vegetables. 3 tablespoons of tomato paste daily or a third of a cup of sweet potatoes can help improve wrinkles because they are full of beta-carotene. Have you heard of retinol prescribed for acne? The body converts beta-carotene into retinol or vitamin A, which is also important for proper immune system function, growth, bone formation, reproduction, and wound healing. Number 5 is sulforaphane, which is a potent antioxidant found in cruciferous vegetables. These vegetables also have carotenoids that can also improve skin collagen. And your skin undergoes a high amount of oxidative damage from just simply going in the sunlight. The UV rays of the sun to the oxygen in the air, this is all a normal part of life, but is damaging to your skin. Imagine now adding toxins in the air like the ones living in one of these cities, or being exposed to cooking fumes, cleaning agents at work, or secondhand smoke. This is another reason you have to have a robust glutathione redox system, and to support it with an abundant amount of vital micronutrients like cysteine, B vitamins, magnesium, and sulforaphanes. Now, number 6 is chlorophyll. And chlorophyll is why green plants are green. This is a plant's mitochondria. Eating a few tablespoons of cooked spinach that's chlorophyll rich was shown to significantly increase collagen production as well as skin elasticity. And most importantly, it decreased facial wrinkles. This is also another reason why kale, rich in sulforaphane, chlorophylls, and carotenoids, increase collagen production too. Number 7 are phytoestrogens. Soybeans are a rich source of phytoestrogens, and eating 4 servings a day of soy foods over 6 months showed significant improvements of skin thickness, increased collagen, and elastic fibers. This is why I eat soy products daily. Number 8 is protein. Soy is a plant rich in protein. In general, people who eat enough calories to maintain their body weight are eating more than enough protein. However, if you're on a restrictive diet, trying to lose weight, or have wounds to heal or muscles to build, then you may require more protein. In general, to heal wounds, it's recommended to eat at least 1.5 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight per day. Number 9 is green tea. And when you drink green tea, that green color are phytonutrients that actually go to your skin and can protect you from the harmful UV radiations of the sun. Regular consumption of green tea has been shown to improve skin quality in women. It also reduced skin roughness by 16% and skin scaling by 25%. The skin also improved in elasticity and hydration. And this is why I start my mornings with a cup of green tea. Now, number 10 is collagen. When you take collagen, you can't actually directly absorb it because it's too big of a molecule. So it needs to be broken down into smaller peptides. But if you take low molecular weight collagen peptides, it could help you reduce wrinkles. A recent study of 64 female volunteers were randomized to fish collagen and vitamin C or no collagen and vitamin C. And those who took collagen for 3 months showed significant improvement of fine lines, hydration, and wrinkles. Collagen is only an animal product, but not the ones that you think. Now, what do these animals have in common? They may be in your supplement, and the only way to know is to call your supplement company and ask them directly. In addition, you should also ask them if their supplements have been checked for contaminants like heavy metals, like mercury, which is present in a lot of fish supplements. Or if your supplement is from cows, what guarantee do they have that no nerve or brain tissue was exposed to the collagen so that you don't get prion disease, also known as mad cow disease, a few decades later? Now, between the two problems, I would rather take my chances with fish because at least I can get my blood checked for mercury. But for now, despite that positive report, I'm going to stick to my regular diet and my other supplements unless you guys know a company that can prove that they don't have contaminants in their collagen supplements. Now, some of you may still doubt the benefit of plant phytoestrogens for your health that go way beyond wrinkles. And if you want to learn more about that, watch the next video.